Have you seen what just happened to silver? In the past few weeks, silver has stunned markets with a record-breaking run, crossing levels that traders and analysts have been watching for years. In fact, silver just closed its strongest quarter in decades with a 29% surge, taking prices near $47 per ounce. But here's the real shocker. Multiple reports now confirm silver not only reached this long-anticipated target, but is also holding steady amid unprecedented safe haven demand. So the big question we'll be exploring in today's deep dive is this just the beginning of a much larger silver rally, or are we staring at the peak before a major pullback? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to break down everything the latest sources are saying, from technical resistance levels to safe haven flows, Federal Reserve expectations, industrial demand, and even record quarterly gains. By the end, you'll understand why silver has become the most talked about commodity in global markets right now. Silver hits our expected target. Let's begin with the analysis from economies.com, which reported that silver reached their anticipated resistance target of $47.50 per ounce. According to their technical outlook, silver has been moving strongly above its 50-period exponential moving average, with momentum indicators signaling continued strength. This move confirms a bullish structure that has been building for months. The target of $47.50 wasn't just a random guess. It was based on the alignment of price action with long-term trend lines. And now that silver has touched that level, traders are asking, is this resistance zone a wall that halts the rally, or a stepping stone toward even higher prices? Economies.com notes that while the bullish trend is intact, we can't ignore the significance of this resistance zone. Hitting such a level often sparks profit-taking and short-term reversals. For silver, this means the $47.50 area is now both a milestone and a test. Safe haven demand pushes silver above $47. Meanwhile, FX Street highlighted another crucial point. Silver's surge above $47 wasn't just about technicals, it was about safe haven demand. Investors around the world are piling into precious metals as uncertainty rises over U.S. fiscal conditions, political tensions, and expectations of Federal Reserve rate cuts. At one point, silver even traded as high as $47.57 intraday. That kind of move underscores just how much buyers are seeking safety in hard assets. According to FX Street, silver remains comfortably above $47 precisely because demand for safe haven investments is intensifying at the same time the US dollar is weakening. And here's what's fascinating. Silver is benefiting from a dual narrative. On one side, it's riding the same safe haven wave as gold, with investors protecting themselves from volatility. On the other, silver has an industrial demand story, from solar panels to electronics, that adds fuel to the fire. Rejection at 47. Pullback or pause? But it hasn't all been one-way traffic. Another FX Street report cautioned that silver faced rejection at $47 and temporarily dropped below $46. This shows just how powerful that resistance level is. In technical terms, $47 has now become the line in the sand. Breaking and holding above it could ignite another leg higher, but repeated rejections could drag silver lower. Think of it like a tug of war. Bulls are pushing hard, fueled by safe haven flows and dovish Fed expectations, while bears are defending the $47 zone, betting on profit-taking or a rebound in the US dollar. This kind of volatility is natural when markets approach historic highs. Rejections don't necessarily mean the trend is over, but they do remind investors that momentum is never guaranteed to move in a straight line. Silver looking for value. Turning to FX Empire, analysts there warn that silver might be a bit extended after such an incredible run. They argue that while momentum remains strong, the market could use a healthy pullback to find value. In other words, if silver dips back into the mid-$40, it might not be a sign of weakness, but rather an opportunity for the market to reset before pushing higher again. FX Empire emphasizes that silver's fundamentals remain solid. Industrial demand is rising as global economies invest in green technologies like solar energy, electric vehicles, and advanced electronics. Supply, meanwhile, remains relatively tight, and each year new demand seems to outpace production. When you combine that with lower interest rate expectations, silver has strong long-term underpinnings. But even strong markets need pauses. Overbought conditions, stretched momentum, and crowded trades can all trigger pullbacks. FX Empire's message is clear: don't be surprised by short-term dips, but don't lose sight of the bigger bullish picture either. Silver continues to see momentum. In a related update, another FX Empire report simply confirmed what many already suspected. Momentum in silver remains alive and well. The key phrase here is continues to see momentum, meaning that while pullbacks may occur, the dominant trend is still up. This aligns with what we're seeing across the board. Demand is strong, fundamentals are supportive, and sentiment is bullish. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in markets. Once a commodity like silver builds a strong rally, it often sustains itself longer than skeptics expect. And with a 29% quarterly gain now on record, momentum is clearly not something to ignore.
Record-breaking quarter. Speaking of that quarterly gain, TradingView reported that COMEX Silver ended the quarter with a staggering plus 29.01% jump, closing at $46.25.3. This was described as a record quarterly net gain, underscoring just how dramatic silver's performance has been. To put that in perspective, a near 30% gain in a single quarter is the kind of move that puts silver in the headlines around the world. It signals not only bullish sentiment, but also huge inflows of capital into the market. For traders, this kind of performance is a validation of the bullish thesis. For long-term investors, it's a reminder that silver can deliver explosive moves when conditions align. But with big gains come big questions. Can silver sustain this pace? Will momentum carry it even higher? Or will the weight of profit-taking pull it back? These are the debates playing out in financial circles right now. The bigger picture. When we pull all of this together, what do we see? Silver is standing at a crossroads. On one hand, it has just delivered one of its strongest quarters ever, surged above $47, and confirmed the bullish expectations of multiple analysts. On the other, it faces stiff resistance at $47 to $47.5, and even bullish voices acknowledge the possibility of short-term pullbacks. At the heart of the story are three forces: safe haven demand, driven by uncertainty in U.S. politics, fiscal policy, and global risks; Federal Reserve expectations, with rate cuts anticipated, silver gains an edge as the opportunity cost of holding precious metals falls; and industrial demand and supply constraints, a long-term driver that gives silver an advantage over gold, since silver isn't just a monetary metal, but also a critical industrial input. Combine those three and you get the perfect storm that propelled silver to this point. Emotional angle, the human side of silver's rally. It's important to remember that behind every chart and every headline are real human decisions. Investors are turning to silver not just for numbers on a screen, but for a sense of safety in uncertain times. Families, institutions, and entire countries are looking for anchors, and silver has become one of them. That's why the emotion in markets right now is so intense. Every move above or below $47 isn't just about technical levels, it's about confidence, fear, and hope. What comes next? The path forward depends on how these competing forces resolve. If silver breaks and holds above $47.50, it could open the door to higher levels not seen in years. If it repeatedly fails at that resistance, we could see corrections toward $46, $45, or even $44. Neither scenario changes the bigger picture. Silver has proven itself as a powerhouse in 2025, delivering a record-breaking rally. So now the spotlight is on silver. Resistance at $47.50, safe haven demand fueling the fire, and momentum from a record-breaking quarter. The next 7 days could be absolutely pivotal. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you hit that like button so more people see this important update. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest silver price forecast and breaking updates. And share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think silver will smash through $47.50 in the coming week, or are we due for a sharp pullback? I'll be reading and replying to your takes. Your engagement helps this channel grow and brings more timely updates straight to you. Disclaimer: This video is created strictly for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice, investment guidance, or recommendation to buy or sell any security, commodity, or asset. The analysis presented here is based solely on publicly available reports and market commentary from the sources cited. Trading and investing involve risk, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Always conduct your own research, consider your personal financial situation, and if needed, consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. This channel and its creator take no responsibility for financial losses or actions taken based on the information presented in this video.